First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I'm Bill Gibbons. I'm the Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. There are a number of special guests and partners that I would like to recognize. First of all, we have Deputy Commissioner Chuck Taylor from the Department of Correction. You'll be hearing some comments from Chuck in a few minutes. Also, Deputy Director Dewey Woody from TEMA, Lieutenant Colonel Kate Taylor from TWRA, Bud Freeze from TDOT, Marshall Wright, who's Vice President of Sales for Motorola Solutions, and you'll be hearing from Marshall in a few minutes as well, and he has numerous team members here with him. We have representatives here from Buford Goff and Associates. They have been very instrumental in this effort. In particular, we have Mike Corbett and Barry Hill here from Buford Goff, Pat Rollins from the Tennessee Valley Regional Communications System, and Randy Leatherwood, Director of Tenant Services for Stream. I probably left somebody out I should recognize, but I wanted to, in particular, to point out those special guests and partners in this effort. Today we are announcing the completion of the Tennessee Highway Patrol's new statewide radio communication system. This is a state-of-the-art system that is enhancing the safety of our citizens and our state troopers. It's increased in efficiency between both state and local public safety agencies. State troopers from West to East Tennessee now have the capability to clearly communicate with each other, dispatchers, and other public safety partners with a push of a button. This new system has been several years in the making, and it's replacing one that was nearly 40 years old and antiquated. Governor Haslam requested that the General Assembly appropriate $120 million for this new radio system, and the General Assembly did so. So I thank the Governor for his support and vision in including this in his budget, and I thank all the members of the General Assembly who voted to appropriate these funds. Motorola Solutions and Buford Goff and Associates engineered this new system, and it was completed on time and on budget. And I stress that because we all know about public sector initiatives that do not get completed on time and on budget. That's not the case in this situation, and we're very, very proud of that. It would also not have been possible without a number of key members of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security. And again, I'm always, whenever you start mentioning individuals, you're always concerned about leaving people out, but there are two people in particular that I do want to single out. First of all, Arnold Hooper, who is our wireless communications director, kind of our radio guru, and Captain Tim Dover, who oversees our support services division. Without their day-to-day hard work on this, as well as those who work with them, we would not be here today. The Highway Patrol's original partners included the Department of Correction and the Tennessee Valley Regional Communication System in the Chattanooga area. And what I would like to do now is call on Chuck Taylor, who is the Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Correction, who will now make a few comments about why it is important to his department to communicate with Highway Patrol and with other agencies. Chuck?
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. It's been a very long time coming. But today, I truly had the privilege to tell you about what happens when government agencies, especially public safety agencies, work together. When this happens, anything is possible. What we're celebrating today is something that started in 2006, 2007, when TDOC built the first state-owned master site for Morgan County Correctional. At that time, we partnered with was to be and to become the Tennessee Valley Regional Communications System. But it is through the strength of those partnerships that we can now truly talk from Memphis all the way to Mountain City, which is virtually important to the Department of Corrections because we have facilities in both ends of the state. It's been a great cooperative effort with three major shareholders working together and sharing their assets. The Department of Corrections is honored to be in Zone 1, which is a three-zone statewide system that links all of our correctional institutions in the Department of Corrections together. This has improved the safety for our staff, the general public, offenders, and particularly it improves the safety of our transportation staff, as you know, travel up and down these highways every day with offenders all across the state. Let me say it's truly a great day in the history of the state of Tennessee, and we are truly proud of it. And I'd like to take this opportunity to pay a special tribute to Mr. Jesse Griggs. They call him the man.
Thank you very much, Chuck. Tennessee Highway Patrol Colonel Tracy Trott saw the need for a new state-of-the-art radio system and was instrumental in seeing this project to completion. He will now make some remarks about how this new system is increasing safety for our troopers across the state as well as citizens across Tennessee.
Well, I've been a state trooper for 37, going on 38 years. When I came on the Highway Patrol, you couldn't talk to another trooper from very long distance. Districts couldn't communicate with one another, and you certainly couldn't monitor any activity from Nashville to Chattanooga or to Memphis or any other place in the state. Our communications were limited and not very effective. We lived with that same system over my whole career. And to see this new implementation of the P25 system designed by Motorola Solutions and Buford Goff and Associates is really a dream come true for the Tennessee Highway Patrol, and I know all the public safety people that work with us. We had a great experience, although it was a great tragedy in our state, the Chattanooga shooting at the military installations over there. During that time frame, we were able to monitor the situation down there as a command staff, being able to see what was happening on the ground between all the agencies working the scene, and we were able to dispatch or provide resources from other districts like Knoxville and Cookeville to support our needs down there and protect people in a public safety mode. It's just a wonderful system that allows us to real-time monitor every situation that's going on in the state. Like Chuck said, you can talk from Mountain City to Memphis and feel like you're in the same room. It's just something we never experienced before, and we're proud to have it. And we certainly want to thank the governor and his support and all the legislators that appropriated the money. I want to say a special thanks to my predecessor, Colonel Mike Walker, who really started the ball rolling in this direction with the initial planning and work on the initial funding package that supported this project. I also want to thank Tim Dover, the captain over support services, Arnold Hooper, our director of TAC-IN, who really do the day-to-day work that people like myself are not smart enough to do on this project. It's a very complicated, a very technical project that had to have experts in the field. And lastly, I want to thank Marshall Wright from Motorola Solutions. You know, they've been great to us, under budget, on time. How many times do you get to say that when you got a $120 million project? And then Mike Corbett from Buford Goff. I always felt like we were in the right wheelhouse with Buford Goff, looking over things, making sure that everything was done to contract and done to spec. So this is a great day for all of us. We celebrate with our other state partners, such as TWRA, TEMA, Corrections, and all the people at TDOT that will come on the system later. We have Sullivan County on the system now, Johnson City, Smyrna. The system is built to allow and to have much more capacity with other partners, and we look forward to that partnership in our efforts to provide public safety across the state. So thank you everybody for being here, and we appreciate the support that we've had.
Now, you've heard a lot of comments about Motorola, who's been our partner in this. And of course, there's a lot of technology that goes behind this kind of radio system. So at this time, I would like to call upon Marshall Wright from Motorola to talk a little bit about the technology, hopefully in terms that we all understand. And we appreciate very much our partnership with you.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity this afternoon to be a part of this process. So on behalf of Motorola Solutions, we appreciate the opportunity, and this is a great event. This is a great celebration. Anytime you're designing and working with great customers, in the public safety arena, two things always seem to come to the forefront more and more with P25 standards, and that is three different things, capacity, coverage, and interoperability. And this new statewide system that you've got gives you all three of those elements. It improves your coverage, it gives you good capacity for future growth, and it also gives you what's very important, interoperability. And that gives you the opportunity when it presents itself for several first responders, public safety people to come together at the same time and to be able to communicate on a seamless type of an environment to do the best to protect all the citizens in the state of Tennessee. And that's super important. You've got over 100 sites now. You've got a lot of growth capacity to add sites in the future as your needs change or as growth areas present themselves. That's a very good point to know that the investment that you've made in putting in this network is also going to be a great investment 10, 15 years, 20 years down the road as your previous system was. I've been with Motorola for a long time, and I can promise you one thing. Every now and then, and only every now and then, you have the opportunity to be involved with a perfect storm. And we had a perfect storm here because we had a group of customers that had the same interests at heart. They cared about each other's individual needs, but cared about their joint needs. We had a great consultant, a very professional consultant, that has experience understanding the needs of the people that use the radio system in the state of Tennessee and how they could benefit from these needs. So when you take a look at that with the implementation, and there's been some nice things said about us being on time and under budget, but it's always good to do that when you have a customer and a partner that has a dedicated, quality, high technical staff so that you can really get in a room, get at a tower site, get at a dispatch center, mutually get things done, and when you have an issue, when something comes up, you already have a remedy that's in place. And when you have that kind of winning environment, not only do great things happen, but you also have a great future, and we're looking forward to a great future. So once again, on behalf of Motorola Solutions, thank you very, very much, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Marshall. Now, we'll be glad to take any questions that the media has, and I'll answer them if I'm the right one to answer. If I'm not, I'll direct it to the right person. So any questions?
Is there a holdup why other counties or states or city agencies aren't joining the network now?
No, there's really no holdup. We have just initiated this statewide. We just got West Tennessee on board a couple of weeks ago. So now we are reaching out to local communities across the state to see if we can address their needs. We now have Sullivan County, Johnson City, Smyrna on board, and we are talking to various other local law enforcement agencies as well.
And you assume that they're going to join?
Well, we welcome their partnership in this, and we're confident that a lot will be interested. Of course, in the Chattanooga area, we have, Arnold, help me out, we have various local law enforcement agencies owned in the Chattanooga area, right?
Chattanooga,
Pretty much.
County, Bradley County has capabilities.
Right.
Ray County, Meigs County.
So they were really initially on the system, but since then, we've been able to add Sullivan County, Johnson City, Smyrna, and so on, and we'll keep adding as we go. Other questions? Yes, sir.
The hope is to have every law enforcement or EMS or fire agency in the state on this network?
Well, every is pretty ambitious, but I guess you have to dream big. I mean, the perfect world would be to have every agency on the same system. Now, whether we can ever get there or not, who knows? But what we are in the position to do now is to offer this to law enforcement agencies across the state as a system they can use.
This is definitely amazing. What do you still have the capabilities to communicate with agencies that are not on the system?
Yeah. Colonel Trott, do you want to?
It really depends on the equipment that they have. We bought a very expensive, very technical system, a P25 system, which is state-of-the-art for public safety emergency workers. Now, if a city or a county decides that they're going to purchase maybe a cheaper system that doesn't come up to those specs, those standards, it will be difficult for us to communicate with them. But as long as they're purchasing the equipment on the same standards and specs that we have, we're providing the infrastructure for them to communicate with us and at a much cheaper cost than they could do on their own.
Is this something that can go from Tennessee to Kentucky to Alabama or Georgia? Is this something that can work out?
There's already people in North Georgia on this system with the Tennessee Valley Radio Communication System, so it is already across state lines, and this is something that can go from state to state, once the infrastructure is hooked up.
Are you able to communicate with people in Georgia now?
Yes, we can communicate with those counties in North Georgia that are on our system. We hope that other systems like Mississippi and Arkansas, who have fairly new radio systems, that we can sync up with them and provide interoperability between those two agencies if we ever needed it during a disaster or an emergency.
I was down in Louisiana for Katrina, and everybody lost all kind of communications. There's something like that, obviously not a hurricane, but
Yep.
a disaster in Tennessee. Is this a system that will continue to operate?
Yeah, I'm not a technical person, but let me say this. There are so many redundancies built into the system where if one tower site goes down, one channel, whatever, the signal is rerouted many different ways. So in an emergency situation like a storm or a hurricane or a tornado or the things that could happen here in Tennessee, we think we have a system that would survive and work. Mississippi, during the latest storms that they have and tornadoes over the last few years, their system has survived and has worked during those emergency situations, so we're confident that ours will too.
Thank you.
Other questions? Thank you very much.